Today we're going to be taking off the clutch and inspecting it and cleaning it. So the first thing you need to do that is remove this little pin that holds the sprocket on. And what you're going to do is you got to just take a screwdriver and rotate it to get it off. But you got to be careful because it's going to want to shoot out on you. So you just put your finger there to grab it. And then you can just twist that screwdriver and it shot out on me. But by some miracle I got it. Be careful you don't lose this little pin. Okay, and then there's going to be this little piece here that comes off. And then we've got the little sprocket there. This is a 3/8-8. And then our, this isn't the clutch, but the clutch plate or something. That's going to be next. And I want to clean all the dust out that's in there. Now on top here, there's this little needle bearing as well. You want to make sure you don't lose that. And also, you know, when you take off this piece, there's a little notch in it. See that little notch? So what that does is there's a little wire under here that drives the oil pump. And when you put it back on, you can't just shove it back on. You have to rotate it until, there you go. It'll kind of sit down all of a sudden when you get that notch. If the notch isn't lined up, you see how it's kind of sticking up over here? But once you get that notch lined up, it'll sit down nice and flush for you. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and remove the spark plug. So we'll pull the wire and then we'll take out the plug, and I just have the plug in hand tight because I didn't tighten it down after I did my initial inspection of the saw. And then this is a time where you know, going to your dealer and you know, asking for advice and buying parts from them kind of pays off. Is I was telling my dealer what I wanted to do, and they got me, the fella that runs the shop went back and got me this from the back room and said, you know, use this. I have heard of guys putting rope in here, but what you do is you just take this tool, and it says open top, is you just shove this in the cylinder with the piston down, and you got to shove it in, you know, shove it in a ways. It's not right at the tip. I tried this a few times already, and then what you can do is you can just rotate your crankshaft and it's going to lock up. So right now that piston is locked up. The threads on the clutch are reverse threaded, so you go the way you would tighten to loosen, which I always have trouble with reverse threaded stuff. Okay, so we're ready to go. We've got our piston locked up, we've got our clutch exposed. We're just going to grab a good grip on the saw. Got my 19mm socket, and we're going to go righty-tighty to loosen. I'm going to be the first to admit that I'm a little bit nervous about this. I really don't want to screw up a $1,100 saw, but we should just go ahead and give it a try. I put a few rags on the table here because it seems like it might slip and I'm banging my knuckles, but let's see what happens. Wow, that's tight. That is really tight. Holy cow. Is the chain brake on? It's moving, right? That's good. Wow, that is on. We're going to get a bigger ratchet. Holy cow. Zowie, that is on there. I wonder what the smart way to do this would be. Alright guys, I'm sorry, but I'm probably going to block your view, but I can't get the torque on this guy to loosen the clutch. So what I did is I stuck it underneath the shelf over here so the rear handle won't come up, and I'll see if that'll do the job. And I'm just amazed at how tightly this thing is on. There it goes. That was about as nervous as I've been in a while. But it looks like we loosened things up, so let's see if she's ready to come off. And there we go, there's a clutch. And a whole big mess inside there too. I'm not sure what this thing is. Oh, there we go. So this one, the hump faces out on this piece here. So guys, that's what the chainsaw looks like underneath the clutch. And I want to clean all that out, but I don't really know what method to use. I might hit it with a little bit of brake cleaner. I don't really want to use compressed air because I don't want to get all that junk, in the atmosphere and breathe it in, because it does have clutch material on it. We'll see if I can just clean this up. And then here's a good shot of our clutch too. This will be the before shot. So guys, it wasn't as big a deal as I thought it was going to be to clean that out. What I ended up doing was I just took a little screwdriver and got as much of that gook off as I could, and then I sprayed a little bit of gum out, carb, choke, and parts cleaner on it, and most of the gook kind of fell out. And then I did use just a little bit of compressed air. First I made sure everything was wet, and I held my breath when I sprayed it because I just don't want to be, I don't want to be breathing this junk in. And I did all this outside. And then for the clutch drum there, I just took a wire brush, sprayed it with parts cleaner to get it wet, took a wire brush, brushed over it, and it cleaned up very nicely. And I just feel much better looking at the saw looking like this than I did before. The first piece we're going to put back on is this little round thing, and remember it had the hump facing out. And then here's our clutch, and you see how much nicer that looks. I'm sure looks don't really count as far as how well it works, but I just like to have clean equipment. So it's lefty-tighty because this is reverse threaded. So we're going to go lefty, lefty-tighty. Is it going on? And then we got to get our wrench and put a little bit of torque on that. And I want it to be tight, but I don't really know, I don't have a torque spec for this one. So good and tight is going to have to do. But I also want to make sure it comes off next time. But the whole saw is moving, so I think that's about as tight as she's going. So then we can take out our piston stop. And I'm going to go ahead and put the spark plug back in so I don't get any junk in the cylinder. Okay, now we're going to put our clutch drum on, and you can see how much nicer that looks. Looks like brand new actually. And you've got this nick in the side, or you've got this little nick on top, which is going to tell you where to line up with the wire for your oil pump, which is right over here. So we'll just put that down and rotate that till it drops. Did it drop? And it's got a little bit of rock because I didn't put that bearing back in yet. And then again, I watched Donnie Boy do this once, and he took some white lithium grease and put it on this little bearing here. So I'm going to do that. And I've never really done this before, so I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. But we'll just smear some on there. And then we'll go ahead and put that on. And so now all the rocking is gone. You see how sturdy that is with that bearing in there? I think it's actually easier to put it on without the bearing than to put the bearing on first. Now we're going to put our 3/8-8 sprocket on there. Got this little cover. And then again, we've got this little clip, and we want to try not to lose it. So I've had pretty good luck sliding it in and then using a pair of needle nose to just glide it across. I couldn't help myself, guys. I put the bar on with these slick new holders from Stihl and put the chain on, and I'm starting to get excited to take this puppy out. Cut some wood. Got a few more things to do though. Looking forward to it.